Hey everyone, Incoherent here, back with more Rome Total War as Germania. Today is going to be the first day where this is my main campaign since July just wrapped up. And last we left off, we finished rallying armies in our north to go wipe out Britain eventually, since they keep dallying and then ceasefiring us, and I just want to kill them, take their land, and be done with this hassle. We had finished up our armies in the west, moving towards Spain. All that was left is sorting out our armies in Rome, figuring out who gets retrained and where, putting the rest on the boat, going down to Sicily with them, and sorting out our armies in the east versus Dacia and this tiny baby stack from Gaul. So, let's get to it. Yeah, so all but 2 units of barbarian cavalry has to go back to be retrained in Capua. 1 unit of light cavalry has to do the same. The spearmen took a beating, so many of them will be going to Rome and staying there to get retrained. Rome, I assume, has population to retrain, right? Yeah, it still has 4,500, even after the extermination. Alright, so I'm going to let this man with these spearmen be part of the army I'm sending away, probably. Here's another unit of spearmen to be retrained, and let's see what's inside the city, because if it doesn't need to be retrained, it needs to leave. Honestly? Well, I might have to siege Carthage, so I still need these units that can sap. Does this city have a stables? It would be funny if they didn't, but oh my god, they don't, do they? There is no stables in Rome. Okay, yeah, I actually have to send this light cavalry somewhere else to be retrained. And then inside the city of Rome, let's see how many people we can get out of here. We can just barely merge these two. And that gives us 3 more units of spearmen, 2 units of heavy cavalry, 1 of light cavalry to join our actual army that can leave. And we have to bring our sappers and these peltasts with us as well. Now we need to decide which generals are actually leaving before we take them away. They also get to these spearmen. I assume this is more than a stack, right? Yeah. So have everyone step out of the town for a second so I can start the retraining process. Here in Rome, we have to retrain all of this infantry, and seeing as we can only make infantry, we'll choose between... Hey, we can make chosen axemen because they have a very high level of barracks. Let's see if this actually seems worthwhile, because the normal axemen so far have just been not worth building over spearmen. They have higher attack and morale, sure, but their lower defense means they're likely to die faster, they have way less men, they rout faster as a result despite their higher morale, because they're losing men faster and they have less men to begin with, so that higher morale really makes them feel similar, not better. And the big difference is they're not a phalanx, so they're not serving the job the phalanx has. They aren't the anvil for my cavalry hammer to hit, at least where warband is. But perhaps chosen axemen might be better. And with melee attack 7 higher, morale 4 higher... At first, I thought they might be, but they have defense 6. Do they have 2 HP or something? I'd be remiss to not build this unit. I want to try it out before I am convinced that it sucks. But I mean, it's telling that it has the same upkeep and only slightly higher recruitment cost as the Spear Warbands. The Chosen Axemen, I suspect, are not actually going to be that good. And like all barbarian units, it would seem they lack the ability to sap. So first... let's move my general and all of the cavalry into 1 stack. Actually, wind it back a second. I need to go retrain things over here. So I need to delay this peasant trick a hot second, recruit all of this, and then peasant trick the population as low as I can. And I'm sure this won't rebel. I'm just not so confident that I'll break the peasant trick this turn. Now, this is not that much infantry. It's only 9 units, 8 units even, of infantry. 2 sappers, a group of peltasts. All of this can come. The heavy cavalry can come. So... all of the army we have gets on the boat for sure. So already has 6 slots left. Theoretically, we can put all of our cavalry in there. But of course, we only want to bring about half our cavalry. We can see the next army is going to have 4 units of barbarian noble cavalry. So I would rank this army to have the larger chunk. Obviously, Heriolphus is going with 1 stack and my faction leader with the other, so let's move him back. Because the first army to leave will be my faction leader for sure. I'm going to have Vanius go with the second army just because he's so depleted that he probably needs to wait more time before going on a fight. And for that same reason, I'm going to send this 34 Eraric here back to Rome as well. So now we have 3 generals and 4 heavy cav for the army next time. That seems fine to me. And we want to take 1 step back in and see if there are mercenaries to hire here. There are. Now we can't really get anywhere this turn, so we're just going to wait safely in the ports. Our army is being retrained, and if you actually look, I forgot about this, I have more reinforcements coming. I'm going to need more boats, actually. And I'm sad to say it, but if I need more boats, then I have to give up on the Chosen Axeman, because he's clearly less valuable than Noble Cavalry. Nothing down here can make boats. And a boat up here in Iridium's wasting an entire turn, so... I'm going to slow down retraining a little bit. put in my generals, this boat, and make a chosen axeman. I'm going to take 2 turns to get my second army rallied together, and I'll bring the boat down to Meridium. I believe that's it for organizing our armies to go south to Sicily and eventually Africa, or east to the Balkans, depending on exactly how it lines up. Also, holy fuck Macedon! There might be some real serious battles happening with them. Next, on this front, we need to take these 3 spearmen. I'm sure they'll be fine with all of them out, but I have to confirm before I actually leave. Yeah, they're completely fine with no garrison left behind. The peasants will be fine. Segestica has the population to train more spearmen, so I'm going to, as these armies are rallying past it. This is a single unit, I think. No, this has war dogs in it. Okay. What I'm going to do is I'm going to have this single unit here stand on the bridge. And from here, I'm going to have these 2 units come down to help the garrison. Or help defend the bridge, rather. I can see with 1 unit, Aquincum will be fine. In fact, with no units, they'll be fine. Which is good, because they can't have recruited a unit. So this should easily hold the bridge against any Dacian movements past me, and I'm not wasting my time dealing with their armies. I'm just pushing straight to their capital. And looking around, they've been making a lot of war dogs. Due to a fear of chain route, I might just hire mercs here. I'll think about that later. Actually, this is the last thing in this turn. There's no later to think about, is there? I think if I'm on the defensive with Phalanxes, I'm going to win. They got 2 generals nearby. I can't safely not hire mercenaries this turn. So I have to pay a decent handful of upkeep. The Bastarnae are definitely getting hired. I'm very low on cavalry. I don't think I need the rest of this to win a defensive fight. So I'm just going to hire these 3 for this turn, and I'm going to end it here. I don't know exactly what this Gallic stack thinks it's doing. I just know that it's very annoying. Alright, so, a candidate for adoption, I will always say yes. Where did he show up? Well, I closed it, but I bet he showed up in Arminum. Or Arretium, rather. Huh. I have no idea where he showed up. Time to go find him. Oh, he showed up here in, Yeah, I'm not going to try, to be honest. Apparently this is my capital. I thought I moved it way further south than this. It's been working out fine so far, but let's see if I can't move it further south and have everything work out for the better. Because moving into Spain, I actually want to keep moving my empire south. And in fact, I'm going to try to move it much further south than this. I'm going to try to move it all the way down to Arretium. I'm looking around. Now I've got anger problems on the left side of my empire as well. But these guys are at very high tax rates, so I think I'll be fine. I definitely need to build a little bit of happiness buildings in my north at this point. Because I'm starting to push my luck, and if I enslave too many cities, I'm not going to have a way to keep them happy. So I've got to build happiness buildings up here soon. But yeah, that is my empire's capital moved all the way down to Arretium, which should make conquering new lands in Spain, the Balkans, and Dacia much easier for me. Now these units of spearmen need to start moving down to Rome for the next army. Arretium will need to hire a new garrison of peasants. This boat, I'm actually going to go wipe out the Julii now, just because it's the only place I can get to safely in one turn. And next time we'll settle around and drop them off to siege the city. Now over here, I need all of this cavalry to step outside of the town and leave 1 behind as garrison test. Yeah, they're going to be completely fine. So I can unpeasant trick this city now and have all the cavalry step outs. These 2 units of reinforcements just need to continue as they were. Here I can almost certainly break this peasant trick, since I moved my capital so far south. In fact, I don't even need to recruit a peasant here, which is very nice, not because it's actually useful, and it means I can recruit more noble cav. And I can recruit a second chosen axeman, provided I actually have the space for my army. Which with 16 men here and 10 here, this is obviously going to be 2 stacks. I'm not upset to hear that, that's actually great news. But knowing it's 2 stacks now, I'll be recruiting a second noble cav in Tarentum. And I'll be recruiting... I'm going to have this spear warband walk over, and have Arminum recruit its own garrison instead. And here I'm going to make another boat, because I'm going to need it, apparently, as this boat sails down. Now this first army, I think, is actually going to be leaving from further south, so let's start moving everyone we can that... Oh, we can't, because we're retraining this turn. Well, it's not going to be a big deal, but I've moved my boat wrong this turn for sure. Now here, there's space for 4 more units. I can pretty easily say I want to send my 4 newest units of cavalry. It looks like there's space for 5, but that's a chosen action getting made. I think I'm going to have just my faction area with the heavy cav in this army, and the next army is going to be these two with the rest of the cavalry. So now this man can come back south, where he's going to meet up with this spear warband, this noble cav. It's going to be a pretty light army, isn't it? But still, it's probably worth trying. And I can make units in Croton as well, actually, so I'm going to. Now here, this fort's essentially useless, but it's also only costing me 17 denarii a turn to keep it, so I'm going to. Now, this tiny little army here is actually going to be pushing Gaul away. Can't imagine I'll need more than 1 peasant here. And I'm finally done making armies in Italy, I think. But let's make this man back off. He's not going to fight this, and I can't get to him. But next turn, he's finally going down. Here, my spear warband is going to go north. And as this army is still passing Segestica, I'm going to make another one. This army most efficiently would just head east, but I'm going to stack it together because I've been getting bribed so much this game. I'm going to make it a little bit harder. And you can see that everyone's moving to try to, stop what's happening here. Campus Iazages is a minor city. It's basically their entire economy. It's population 400. Oh, its population is 7,600. Why are you recruiting so many dogs then? Also, I'm very alarmed. There were 3 dogs in that city last turn and they all left. Regardless, though, I'm going to build some rams. And now that I'm here and potentially fighting the whole Dacian army next turn, I'm actually willing to recruit these Illyrian Mercenaries because I know I want them for the siege, and they're going to help a lot if I get into a massive field battle with everything Dacia has. I suspect that latter one's not going to happen, but just in case it does, I want to be safe. One of my men, I assume the one I was just using, yeah, got a mercenary captain, great news. He's up to 5 stars, even though he started off as almost a complete nobody. The Seleucids allied with Numidia, of all people, quite strange. I think the eastern half of this map is going very differently than it normally does. The Seleucids rapidly became a protectorate of Egypt, and now Egypt is losing versus Horse Archers. The Seleucids allied Numidia and might betray their, I can't remember what you call their liege lord, like what the actual term for somebody who is the protectorate owner would be. Oh well. Please tell me in the comments. It's actually bothering the shit out of me, and I don't even know how to look up that question on the internet. But regardless, we are finally moving these armies in the west. Or I suppose it's in the north now, isn't it? Move out. Yeah, they're okay with me having taken this away. And I've made this mistake before. I always think I can go around like this, and you can't, so I've just cost myself quite a few turns, or quite a few movement points, rather. Now, because that takes 2 turns to get there, well, 3 technically, I can continue recruiting units here. I can no longer recruit in Trier as they're out of population. And I'm not going to recruit anything else here on the western front. I'm pretty sure my best bet is to just send them as reinforcements now, because it'll take them quite a while to travel. Lastly, this man moves up to garrison. And what's our army looking at right now? We're at 25-30 right now, with a little bit more recruitment coming in still. I think I have probably enough cavalry. Definitely enough cavalry, because the cavalry's kind of shit anyway. So I'm going to make some spearmen in Elysia as my final units. So I'm going to be leaving with almost 2 full stacks against Britain, which is probably gross overkill, but when I lose the whole stack in the first fight against chariots, it'll probably feel worthwhile to bring so many. This army, though, doesn't stand a chance in hell. This would just get crushed. Now, down here in Spain, I sadly didn't get the ambush I wanted, but this army still doesn't have anything resembling a general. So first, let's... Oh, wow, I'm looking at my army, and suddenly I don't feel great about it, either. General. This has only got 1 phalanx in it. What are the stats on an Iberian infantry these days? Melee 9, defense 10, morale 6. It's not bad. Can I hire mercenaries? Yes, I can. So I can fight this. I just want to get better information on what I'm looking at. I'm looking at 6 Iberian infantry and 4 skirmishers. I would pay quite a lot for some cavalry. Apparently that's not what Spain does, though. I will take their Spanish mercenaries and their slingers. It upsets me greatly that I can't right-click here to see their information. I have to right-click up here. Yeah, these Spanish mercenaries have bad morale, but except for that, they're fantastic. They're basically similar to the Illyrian skirmishers. So I need to hire these. I'm not going to pretend I can get away without it. I'm going to bring this in as well, and it's probably going to full-on retreat at this point. He thinks he can take me. We'll get to that later, then. I'm going to keep building spearmen here instead of normal garrison units, because I strongly suspect I'm going to be using these to defend the city at some point. I'm just going to have these move down to reinforce here. I'm going to use what little money I have left to build a dirt road here in Osca to see if I can't set up bridge battles around here. Okay, so this man's going to get in the boat and get ferried down to here. Now, sadly, this man can't actually move past the Carthaginian, but he can get ferried, I think, just far enough. So all of our stuff in Spain is moving down. It looks real bad for Spain. If anything, right now, I have too much army in my west and north, and it's costing my economy heavily. If I had realized just how one-sided this wall would look, I probably would have just not made some of these units, honestly, but I would have sent them east or across the ocean instead. I suppose going around this way is like crossing the ocean, though. And in fact, this unit might just get dropped off on Palma and start my war with Carthage. I didn't realize that I could just start my war with Carthage now and it would make sense, because if I had, I probably would have fought this army. We'll consider how all that looks next turn, though. I am going to have these 3 phalanxes move up. I kind of feel like I'm overextending them by doing that. But I think, like, worst case scenario, I lose 3 phalanxes, but it might be meaningfully reinforcing this army at some point. Okay, so I just quickly went around my empire and cranked the taxes as high as I could everywhere. I really should have done that before things where I left cities without garrisons like Ariminum and Iridium, because I don't actually know what tax rate I can get away with in Ariminum. I just know that I can't change it now. So, all that's left this turn, then, is a big fight with Spain, and honestly, it looks like it's going to be a fairly one-sided fight with Spain.
Tonight we feast, tonight we drink, tonight we drown ourselves in ale, but before that, we must wash ourselves in the blood of our foes. For
the first time in a while, a German general said something I liked. I really enjoy that battle speech, a lot more than all the ones about shitting yourself that I usually get. Alright, so I'm doing a pretty straightforward thing. I have my phalanxes at my center. I'm protecting their flanks with these terrible barbarian mercenaries. My skirmishers up front, they're going to fall back. Slingers protecting in the rear, and the screechers are going to run to whatever part of the line seems most likely to break and do their yelling thing. Once the battle is joined, my cavalry are going to swing out and try to win it quickly for us. They're in a much wider formation than us, aren't they? They drew up hella thin. And against all odds, they're coming to meet us. So I'm going to just reposition myself a little bit to reflect what they've done. My mercenaries are apparently not on fire at will by default. Oh. I want all of this to fall back as it throws its javelins. I don't want them to stick around for this. And in fact, I'm going to have my mercenaries charge forward at this point. Because I know that they're better offensively than defensively. They're trash at both. I'm going to have my spearmen begin their march forward. And once my units have actually begun their charges, I want all of these guys with ranged weapons to continue using them to the best of their ability while this unit runs forward. Are you guys completely out of phalanx right now? Somehow you're routing enemies despite completely fucking up. So that's nice. Alright, fuck the skirmishers, just crush this unit here. And we're just going to keep going down the line, doing that over and over and over. Here I want all of you charging the slingers, one of you charging these slingers. Not slingers, but skirmishers. I need all of you to break phalanx. Oh, you weren't even in phalanx. I fucked that up pretty bad, then didn't I? Want all of this going in this direction, trying to route this. You guys aren't charging, so just back off. Alright, at this point we're just trying to route as much as we can and run down the people as they flee. I just need my infantry moving forward because it's very likely that these guys actually stop and turn to fight. We're getting relatively close to the edge, but I think we're able to do a whole lot more murdering. So my general's going to have a whole lot of kills at the end of this.
This is no longer a battle, this is a hunt. No, a coward.
So that was a nasty engagement that I fucked up pretty badly. Oh, I probably should have killed that.
Fight and the victory is yours.
We lost 300 men and killed 1,200 despite their attempt to retreat. We could have done a lot better if I hadn't accidentally left my spearmen out of Phalanx formation, but I suppose it's fine. I'm honestly shocked it went as well as it did considering I made that mistake.
We shall rule.
Now here I need to leave behind these two spearmen to get my movement at its full speed. And I'm very confident there's a city here that I can go take. So I'm going to head for that.
Join the army.
I'm going to go stand on this river for a second. I'm debating if I want to move a little bit further, and I do. I think I need to move as far as I can this turn, otherwise I might not reach the city next turn. I have this hide in the trees.
Yes, General.
And I think that's it for this turn. Certainly if it isn't, I don't have the money to do whatever else I might be considering. Oh hey, Gaul's trying to spy on me. Isn't that cute? So their last city is somewhere in Spain. Eventually we'll find them and murder them. Oh hey, there's a stack over here. What a mild inconvenience. I honestly don't know which navy is under attack right now, but it's fine, probably.
Disengage.
Oh, it was the one that was transferring around Sardinia. That's not where I thought it would be.
Ready to ambush.
So can I get there on foot? Yeah, no major setback.
Besieging settlement. Besieging settlement.
Ready to sail.
This boat comes down.
I can
This boat gets retrained. Actually, it may as well get retrained at Rome. And what's going on down here, honestly? I should look at this. There's a town watch at Hastati, 2 generals, and probably another town watch. And Carthage is here. Hi, Carthage. I really shouldn't have left this army where I did.
Aye, Captain.
I really need a second boat over here, don't I?
Off the boats. Orders.
That has to be there.
Yes.
I'm gonna recruit a second boat here to just... I need to start building a navy. There's too much shit going on right now that I'm not able to deal with efficiently.
Orders.
I'm just have this come stand here, and all of it together is going to ambush whatever comes next. This is going to head south and continue looking for, I believe, Carthago Nova. Yeah.
Yes. Attack. Besieging settlement. Besieging
Is this
settlement.
their capital or something just large and important? Yeah, just large and important, not their capital. Will not be hiring barbarian mercenaries this turn, or ever. Now, honestly, one spear warband probably does successfully defend a city, and these will be rebels sooner rather than later. Let's deal with the important part of infrastructure this turn, figuring out who's going to Sicily and when.
Yes.
I wasn't expecting this to be 2 stacks, so my previous plans for generals is going to change a little bit.
General orders.
First, I'm going to have these guys leave with at least 2 units of barbarian cavalry.
Set sail.
This one is also going to join this group because he's just closer to this boat. Right, so I have 4 more barbarian cav left.
Yes.
I want all of them going with my general, I think. I do.
Yes.
I didn't check my things this turn. Someone came of age, and I believe it's this man right here. Yes. I'm sorry. Is this dude really supposed to be 16? I hadn't really, considered how age inappropriate my pictures were. A lot of retinue expands. I'm guessing these are the transfers that I made a while ago. Yeah, Clovis just got all of his stuff finally. And Clovis is this man who's going to be leading us into war soon. We will soon be the conqueror of Britain. Huh, that's a really cool trait. Doubtful courage, not so much. But Axpedon's quite good. It turns out that since I do have another faction member, I will send 1 more heavy cav this way and put him on the boat. And 2 light cav to both armies. That seems pretty easy to think about.
Orders.
So now we have
Ready to sail.
8 units here, 2 of them light cav, and 7 units here, 2 of them light cav. Pretty similar distributions.
General.
I'm going to have my general's army take all of the axemen. See if they're more functional as a group rather than a single unit. And now we just need to split up the spearmen. I have 11 spearmen. I'm going to send 6 of them with this army. And the other 5 with my faction leader's army. And Rome has finally lost its shit. Like, you have to garrison the city, guys. I don't know why you think you can just keep not garrisoning the city, but it's sort of important. I'm going to start a shrine to Donar in Rome so that I can attempt to actually recruit berserkers at some future point. Also, it pisses me off that I've taken a level 4 barracks, but I can't make my best units because they're all religious for some reason. And lastly, I have some kind of random, chumpy, broken units here. I'm not sure what I would do with them if I kept them. But I will be keeping them this turn just so I can build another boat. So we have a stack of 15 and 14, both stacks looking actually pretty damn solid. They'll be heading down over the next couple turns to get to Sicily. And I think I'll be taking them east of the Balkans. I think if I go to Carthage, I end up with like 5 stacks meeting in Numidia, and that's horribly inefficient. So, in 4 turns, I'm going to have my units grouped up here. Which I believe means it's time to go. Oh, they're very unhappy about that. That checks out. They did just lose, you know, their governors and their garrisons. I can afford to make 1 more unit in Trier, or I would be able to if Trier had population, but they don't. And we're finally starting to get all of our stacks together, organize into armies, and go out against Britain. Now it occurs to me, without a port, none of this will ever actually happen, and I'm out of money right now, so I really need to focus on infrastructure next time and not army production. And because I'm so worried about happiness, I'm actually not going to enslave the next couple of cities I fight. I will be exterminating them to make sure that they simultaneously do not rebel, and also don't make my other cities want to rebel.
Yes, Chief.
It looks like these units have the movement to come participate in this attack, and that is absolutely what I want them to do. So, this looks like it should be fairly simple. They apparently got a person to come of age during the last turn, which sucks for me. But yeah, it's just 2 Falksmen in terms of infantry. All I've got to do is make sure that these faction leaders fight me one at a time, chase me into spearmen, and die horrifically. So, let's get into it. Alright, we're doing the same thing we always do in these sorts of fights. 3 rams, 3 holes in the walls. All my range units get up close to drive back any defenders. Everyone else, just move as close as you can to actually get ready to come in the walls. I suspect these are the archers. No, they're Falksmen. Are they doing the same thing they did last time? Yeah, their archer warband is what's in the middle of their city. Very confusing to me. Oh, no, 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 no. Pull left. I don't want anyone standing in range of the towers. That's just a waste. And we're just out of range of actually being able to throw at these Falksmen, which is unfortunate, but not a big deal. So I definitely want these spear warbands moving over here to get them in over here and set their phalanxes. There's no real way to come in here and be safe. And these Falksmen are about to get fucking obliterated. Dear God. It's gonna be brutal. They were nearly a full unit a second ago. Oh, maybe they have better defense than I thought they did. They only lost like a dozen men. I mean, it still sucks for them. They're regretting their decision. There we go. Now they've melted. And that's why I hired the mercenaries. Because now we are easily going to take the walls. No one's here to oppose us. Oh my God. I've somehow twice now told units to go through the wall this fight, and they've picked up a ram instead. Luckily, my skirmishers are keeping me safe from my own idiocy. Have all these Illyrians cut fire at will, because at this point I don't need it. I'm in position. This is quite funny to watch. I don't know what they think they're doing, but they are thinking better of it. Oh, nope, they're not thinking better of it. Anyway, this is where I'm going to be luring enemy cavalry in a little bit. Okay, we've wiped out one unit of Phalanx so far, but not much else. And it's time for us to do the baiting part of this, where I'm going to have these mercenary captives get the attention, run straight out. This is going to cause them to redirect into the Spear Warband, and then the Bastarnae and the General are going to come flank them. As soon as we get any sort of movement, these guys are fleeing, because there are 3 Generals cav there. I'd rather not lose this unit. Oh, there we go. Get the fuck out. Come on, you need to leave. So they lost about 12 men, I think. I think they were originally 101. That's fine by me. Oh, and they're also being shot by archers as they flee. Quite unfortunate. I think I've got all 3 units of Barbarian Warlords coming, so this is going to be a goddamn nightmare, whatever happens next. I will allow them to throw, though. I think I'm much more likely to do something worthwhile to my enemies than to hurt myself. Oh. Apparently this tower is still in the enemy team. And it doesn't look like I need to do anything. It looks like they have this handled on their own. If I want to do this, I should have put this further back, it looks like. Because I can't really have my generals charge into this. Also, it's sort of disgusting looking at how broken this is, huh? But yeah, I don't need to do anything here. I just let them do it on their own.
The enemy king now drinks with his glorious ancestors. His men now rightly fear us.
They're either sending out their archers or their Falksmen. Either way, it's not going to go well for them. But this is the one that goes better for me. Or better for them, rather. Because if they send out their Falksmen, they just die without doing anything. But sending out their archers, they actually get to fire a few volleys and do something. As soon as I see them stop, I'm going to send my units to charge. Or this one unit of cavalry, rather. And they're not enough for me to charge at this point regardless. So provided my units don't do anything stupid, this should easily kill their archers, or at least rout them, right? Victory is a distinct possibility. Briefly showed up on Archer Warband, which had me worried, but... I mean... I'm just gonna let this happen and be mad about it. No, I'm gonna save this unit. I know that it's losing. Gonna have my general come around, I guess, to do it himself? Yeah. I'm gonna try to do this again with a charge bonus and see if we can't make more progress. They're walking away this time, so surely it goes better for us. Yeah. It turns out if the enemy just turn their back and accept the charge, I do better. And that also gets the attention of their family, so let's get this back and safe. Are you guys in formation? What is happening? Oh dear lord. I'm gonna tell them rally, then stop. I'm telling them phalanx, and then reform the phalanx. So I've given them a halt command and told them to form a phalanx. Let's see if they do anything resembling the correct thing. We've got some spears going down. Okay, yeah, that managed to fix them. And this general needs to not be here anymore. He's gonna get the wrong kind of attention. Okay, these Bastarnae need to fucking leave now. Actually, I think it'll be fine. It's only one general that's coming from my general, so it should be completely okay. Yeah. This isn't what I wanted to do just now, but it's working out. Mild panic attack when I saw what this unit of phalanxes was doing. And they're still trying to do it. The Archer Warband is trying to come get shots again. At this point, I'm going to have all my phalanxes move up. Okay. So I've got all my warbands moving up, because I realize I need to come fight them. This is not what I want to be happening with Bastarnae, so I'm going to just have them start walking around the city. My general is probably safe to wait a little bit and then charge these archers, looks like. No, he's not. Definitely not. These generals are too close for my comfort. If these move to try to get line of sight after this, I will definitely do something. Oh! Apparently they're getting charged over here. Wasn't keeping track of time very well. Those archers are really getting a disgusting number of kills considering how tightly packed and unarmored my spear warbands are. Nothing I can do about it though. Aside from move them up and try to end this fight sooner. Meanwhile, the Bastardi are making their way around from here. And this should be most of the archers dead at this point. Unfortunately, I will be taking a lot more casualties on my spear warband than I needed to this fight because I'm getting hasty about these archers. And, I'm just gonna let this play at double speed, I guess. Because, I mean, what input am I giving, really? There's definitely better ways to control your phalanxes than this. But yeah, in spite of my best efforts, the enemy didn't stand a chance here.
This is a great victory! The cries of dying enemies are sweet music to our warriors.
On the one hand, it sucks that I managed to somehow throw away 500 spearmen in that. But I remember a few weeks ago where I'd be thrilled to see 500 losses in a fight like this. So I've gotten so much better at the game. It's nice to see. And as I was saying a second ago, I'm worried that enslaving this could cause happiness problems, and I'm in dire need of money, so I'm going to exterminate instead. Now, I'm going to quickly handle sorting out this army's wounds, and then I'm going to end the video. It looks like I'm not going to have to leave behind that much. I've got 3 units of damaged spearmen, and I'll gladly... Actually, I'll be making cavalry here, because the army is so light on it. In fact, I'll have to leave behind a little bit more than that, because some of these units had way less movement. Here, I may as well try to farm some command stars by pushing this man back as I go to their next town. And I'll continue this turn next time. I'm just at an hour of recording, so I'll be ending it here. I've been rather incoherent, and I hope you liked the video. If you did, then like, comment, subscribe, all that YouTube jazz. It really helps the channel grow. And I'll see you around.